say whatever numbers they want to say for any state that they want to say it. And they can come out with these judges, and the judges can say what they're going to say and rule what they want to rule. But at the end of the day, these judges are still paid. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You have to really think about all this, man. All this stuff is corrupt. That's why none of this shit works, honestly. You know? Like they can say that Trump lost, they can say that he won. It really depends on what they're doing. And it has been shown in the past that a lot of these things that we call conspiracy theories are actually facts. There was a point in time where they were showing that even there were people that are dead that were voting, bro. You know what I'm saying? So how are you counting these votes? Who putting these votes in for these dead people? So we really need to look at all this and just realize that this whole system is fucked. It's like none of this shit is working. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Melvin said, I'm not on any side. I don't even vote. I say fuck all this shit, burn it to the ground, and give the land back to the people who it belongs to. And all these pale skins need to get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is our shit, and we need to turn our shit back the way it was. But at the same time, none of this shit is doing any of us any type of service. You can vote for anybody, they still gonna fuck our people over.
And I'm the comedian in me is not surprised by what you said just based off the aesthetic of what you have on. I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely on that side. No, for sure, man. Look, politics. I'm a big sports guy, right? Big sports guy, also a big pro wrestling guy, believe it or not. And politics to me is like pro wrestling, right? If you got Ric Flair and you got who was a heel at the time? I don't know. Well, Ric Flair was a heel, so let's say a good guy like a Ricky Steamboat, right? And Ricky Steamboat's like, I'm gonna kick Ric Flair's ass. Ric Flair's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. And then they go out there, they have a good fight, and then they get to the back and hey, good job out there, man. Yeah, you too. Let's go get some beers. That's really what they do, man. It's them playing pro wrestling. It's like we're gonna go out here, we're gonna stage it, and then after this, let's go get something to eat. That's really what it is, in my opinion. You know, they're playing, they're doing what they're supposed to do. The only difference is why each individual goes so hard is because it's still competitive. It's just like a job. It's like if all of us were in the position to be the presidential candidate, we all got our own personal agendas, nigga. I want to be a black president, just like you want to be a black president, and you. So we all gonna compete against each other. It's just what it is. It's no different than when Kamala and Biden hate each other. And then as soon as Biden's the front runner, I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead and hop on the train, because it's at the end of the day, they're just trying to get a job, man. They unemployed, in my opinion. Them niggas is up there unemployed.
I really like how you put that, Melvin, about the wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
Myself, I am a pro voter, and I'll tell you why. Just like with wrestling, you can have a heel, you can have a good guy, but it don't mean shit if the fans are not coming to pay for those tickets.
100%.
And this is where I believe that as much as they try to convince us that it doesn't matter that we vote, it does matter. Okay. It plays into their whole entertainment scheme. You know, if all of us,
fair point.
If all of us didn't vote, the people that want that heel or that Ric Flair to win, they're gonna win every time, because the people that's coming to see Ric Flair is the only ones paying for the tickets. Now it'd be different if everybody said, you know what, none of us coming to the Omni. I'm old school Mid-South. We're not going to the Omni at all. Now we got a problem. Now we need to make sure Junkyard Dog's there. Now we need to make sure the Great Kabuki is there. We need
a whole mid card now. Yeah.
So when we look at this politics, the way I see it is that their whole job in life right now, and I'm not just saying the people that's running, because they are the managers and the people that's work for somebody. The people behind the scenes that's making stuff happen, they want us to get so upset with voting in the two-party system that we just say, you know what? Fuck it, it's yours. And once they get that, it's a wrap. That's why they go out of their way in places like Georgia, places like Mississippi, to tell people, hey, your vote don't matter, so don't come out here and vote. Because even though it's not as strong as it should be, so don't get me wrong, that electoral college is bullshit. It should have been taken out a long time ago with a couple other things. But the reason they don't want that is because if people don't vote, they're able to manipulate the system a little better, if that makes any sense to you.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly. The
Okay,
oldest game in the
exactly.
book.
Got you.
What changed it for me is when I found out that Bill Clinton was the one who actually asked Donald Trump to get more involved, and that's what catapulted him into running for president. Bill Clinton. At the same time, his wife running.
I don't like how she run the house.
Didn't
You think
know
I
that.
want her to run the country, nigga?
That kind of bewildered me. And then he got up there and he told, because see, he's not talking to intelligent white people or the it's a lot of privileged white people with this white power structure.
Mhm.
But it's a lot of his camp is just poor white people that need something to
And
stand up.
nobody thought he could pull it off. Nobody thought he could be the advocate for clueless, inept, poor white folk, and he pulled it off like a soldier. You got to give kudos to him,
I
man.
mean, he did it.
He did it. He went up
did
there and said they're taking jobs from Americans. Listen,
And he
we
said,
want to wear Nikes. We don't want to make them, nigga.
Hey man, this is where I got to give him kudos, and I don't give Agent Orange many kudos, but this is what he did, in my opinion, to flip the whole thing. The Republicans, for a long time after they went from Dixiecrats to Republicans, have always been this team of, okay, we got our elite people, and we don't like y'all poor white people, but as long as y'all talk with us against them, we'll let y'all in the fold. Trump came in and was like, oh, fuck all that. We all cool as long as y'all do my dirt. So let's roll. And the Republican Party was like, wait, no, we had a hierarchy. And
You're
that's
right.
where everything went from sugar to shit, because the hierarchy is destroyed. And that's why somebody like Nikki Haley, who is pretty intelligent, even though I don't go for it, I'm an independent myself, but I look at people for what they're worth. She's got some good quality, but she'll never be able to win because Trump runs the game. There's no hierarchy. It's a game. You
Right.
either in or out. And if you listen to people like Tim Scott, when they talk about Trump, they never talk about his level of success and pace. They're either all in or all out. And that's my
if
2
Nikki
cents.
Haley would tell her real name, she might lose some supporters. To tell you the truth,
Oh man, when I
She
found
ain't
that,
gonna
out, I
never
was
say
like,
that
oh,
first
shit.
name, man.
she's not gonna
Middle
ever say
name
her
Nikki.
real name. They'll
Yeah,
jump off
Nikki
that
has a
real
bandwagon.
name?
name.
You
I was like, what? They gotta.
What's
they
the real
gotta, They
name?
gotta. They gotta sell it somehow, man.
let me look it
What's
up
the
real
real
fast.
name?
And I'll tell you. I can't just
So
really remember it because
she
it's
has her
something
first
funny.
name sounds like exactly from the country she from. Yeah, it
Okay.
ain't no Nikki. It ain't no like
It's
typical American white
Nemitra.
girl shit.
It's Nemitra or something. Hold up. I'm gonna
Yeah,
pull it up.
Isn't her dad from like India?
Yeah.
Okay, while he's looking for that, I have another question. Since we're kind of divided a little bit on Trump, did won, he did win, he didn't win. Everybody be talking to that forever. I personally don't think that motherfucker won shit, but that's just me. For the ones that do, hey, they do. But this is what I want to pose to the next question. And then, like I say, if anybody have any questions, feel free to bring them on up.
Sure.
So when Trump's saying make America great again, what is he saying? Is he saying, hey, let's go back to when we had them motherfuckers as slaves, and so that way the white people can do whatever they want to do? I mean, because whenever the question is asked, when was America great? That is never been answered. So I'm just asking, is that what he's saying? Right? Could you mute?
Absolutely,
I
that
think
is
that
what he.
might be you that's giving us the feedback. So go ahead.
Absolutely, that's what he is saying. That's just a code word for saying let's turn back time to the 1940s, 1950s, when we were dominant, on top, control, without directly saying it. He knows what he's doing. Trump is a salesman, always has been.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what I think. Anybody got any opinion on that? I'm thinking that's what he's thinking. Let's go back. Let's put their black butts back to being slaves. But yet he have a whole line of, and it's Mexicans, blacks, Indians, supporters, and all that out there. But they'll never come out and say what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
It's that privilege again.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you
like
off, but
Trump.
it's showing that privilege again. If you think about it, Make America Great, going back to 1950s and back, was a time when your privilege was all you needed. You can go out and hang a black man and nothing was going to happen to you because it was privilege. You can go out and take an Asian American and kick them out of their house legitimately and sign for their stuff because that was your privilege. You could take a Mexican, have them come over the border, farm your land, and then when you're tired of them, send them right back across the border, and nobody will tell you anything because that was your privilege. When you talk about make America great again, the ones that's in the core, they know exactly what he's talking about. The ones that's on the outside looking for that acceptance, they're confused because they're looking at it as nationalism. Like, no, we want to make America again when we're focused on America. But even back then, if you look at our history, when we tried to focus on America only before the wars, that's when we had the most problems.
Gotcha.
So personally, and from if you look at it on surface value, what y'all are saying is absolutely correct. Like just on a surface level, like it because if you ask the question, all right, give me a 10-year frame of when you said America was great, at some point you can make the case it wasn't necessarily great for any person of color per se. So on surface level, that is true. In my opinion, I feel like that is just too vague and almost too perfect for that statement to even align. I think it's just make America great again is making Americans patriotic again, making people be proud to be an American. It is so almost accepted widely to be un-American now. You have people who leave their country, come here, do everything they do to be a citizen, and talk shit about being an American, right? So, and I think people who are patriotic right now in the country, it almost kind of aligns with being racist. Like even now, when you see somebody, I'm a mailman, for example. Like even when I see a back the blue flag or American flag, even I tilt my head like, motherfucker might be, you know what I'm saying? So I think personally, he was trying to strike a chord, an emotional chord of saying, hey, look, I'm trying to get everybody to the point where people were proud to be in this country or be from this country, in opposed to saying, well, we can lynch again. Like, I don't know. Maybe, do I think that that's his approach? Possibly. He could be indirectly, directly saying that to people. Or he could just be saying, it's time. I'm gonna get remember, because we're tricking the poor white people here, right? The people who will just fall for anything, tired of seeing, who up there speaking all elegantly and shit.
No, I don't know who we talking about.
Hey,
Barack Obama. Let me not be.
Look, yeah,
Okay.
it's Barack Obama, but I got to touch on what you said. I don't want to cut anybody off, but that patriotism thing is really the linchpin, and I don't really make any connection with that linchpin what we was talking about. But
Sure.
That's exactly how I see it. Being a 20-year Army vet, it's pretty much parallel
sure.
with being a post office person. You're working for the
Right.
government. I dedicated my life and almost died for my government. So
Correct.
when I say back to blue and military first, I mean that with all my heart, not just because I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. And this is what
Right.
confused people, because when some pro-Trump supporters hear me, saying the Pledge of Allegiance or saying I back the blue and stuff, they're like, yeah, you one of us, brother. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. And they're like, whoa, what happened? I thought you was one of no. Right. I am a descendant of people that have been making this country great since its inception. Black people have been there, and not just on the side making conversations or picking cotton. We've been at war with weapons in our hands with a history that they don't even share. So when they say that, they're saying, and in my opinion, they're saying we want America to be great again, but we're not really talking to you, Mr. Veteran, or we're not talking to you, Mr. Patriot person, because you got to fit our agenda. We'll let you come around, but you can't fit our agenda. And that's just from how I've been seeing it, because when I say there's a lot of people in the military that's confused with this, this is exactly where it's coming from, because they're true-blooded patriots, but they feel like making America again, making America great again, somehow makes Trump, who is a military dodger, don't have a military bone in his family, the right guy forward. I got people that I went to war with, and they love Trump, and we are still tight, because one thing I'm not going to do is let your opinion affect me, unless you try to do something to me directly. But they would tell you with almost tears in their eyes how much Trump is the right person for the country, and I would be looking at them with a smirk on my face, like, hell to the no, he'll never be right. So that's where I see it. I really do believe what you said. Make America great again was supposed to be this nice little thing, so you can interpret it the way you want, and they can manipulate it depending
100%.
on what crowd they're in. Yeah,
100%. Genius marketing.
That slogan, "Make America Great Again," man, it was purely for white people's wet dreams, man. You know what I'm saying? America has never been great, bro. Honestly, it's a land that is stolen from great people, and there are great people here, but America itself has never been great, bro. We harass other countries. We tell people that they are committing injustices against their people while they slaughter our children in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Where's the justice at? When was it ever great for our people? And if at any point it has never been great for our people, then America has never been great. It's been great for another motherfucker's dream. You know what I'm saying? But all they've done is shit on our people. We've won wars for these motherfuckers, bro. You know what I'm saying? They have erased us out of history continuously. You know what I'm saying? They try to get rid of the Buffalo Soldiers. All these motherfuckers who was great, that was our people who was going out there winning these wars. Not to mention the black people who the motherfucking, when we went to Vietnam, the Vietnam people didn't even want to fuck with the black people, bro, because they seen us as holy entities because of our skin. They knew who we were. You know what I'm saying? But since we was fighting with the white man, they had no choice but to defend their land. So we really need to sit back and look at who's our enemy. And this is our land yet again. And we're letting people decide things for us. You know what I'm saying? If you're going out there killing motherfuckers for the government, bro, at the same time, you're doing an injustice. Because who the fuck the government? Who is the government? They doing dirty shit. They killing us and telling you to go kill other people. We had a show, we was talking about when they put a gun in these young people's hands and they go shoot up people in America, is bad, right? But when they give the same 18-year-old motherfucker a gun and tell them to go shoot up other people in other countries, it's good. You know what I'm saying? When are we gonna get this shit through our mind? And none of this shit is good, though. You know what I'm saying?
I got to come back on that, man. And, I appreciate your energy, but I'm gonna be upfront and honest. If the enemy to our country comes in front of me, I shoot cinemass. I don't shoot any rounds, and I'm about that life for my country. And when we talk about America being great again, America in its essence has never been great. It's been growing. But for my experience from the south side of Chicago to
I'm from there too.
To Louisiana, so you know what I'm talking about. The deepest part of Louisiana, and then to see the rest of the world and look back to America, man, I'll put my money on everything. We better than all them damn countries. And I'm gonna tell you why. Though? Because even though we are not perfect and we got a lot of shit that we're still dealing with, they got some other countries where that don't even come up on the table to discuss. You're not going to get up and protest or have a million-man march or something like that without being killed, and it's not going to be reported on the news because they're just going to black that out and kill people out. The reason why I think that America is a great country and better than the other ones is that in this country, we have the ability to affect change. We have the ability to affect change to the point that those people that don't want it to be known, try to erase our history, that they will try to tell us not to vote, that they would, you want to talk about a wet person's dream? A wet person's dream, a racist wet dream, is when a black says this country is not their country. This is what they thrive on because, again, when we look at our history, Black American history, we've always been here. We've always been patriotic. And we've always been the one to move the needle forward to make America greater. Not great again, but greater. Every step we've been there to push it forward. What the agenda of the racist people are trying to do now is, first of all, pretend that we never existed, and then to get all of us, not just blacks, but the brown and some white people, to believe that, oh no, this country's so jacked up, we should just let the racist white people have it because it's theirs. That's the wet dream. That's the agenda. That's why they don't want us to be a part of it. You want to piss them off? Tell them that you're proud of America, and motherfucker, this land is my land. It might be your land over there, but this is mine too, and I'm gonna take it.
Before this,
All right,
before
hold
this
it right
land was
there for
known
a
as
second.
America, it was called the land of milk and honey. You know what I'm saying? And bro, I'm telling you, man, if y'all do y'all research, this land was the richest before any pale skinned people came over here and we had any governments. We didn't even have wars like that, nor did we even beef with people like that. So if you want to make America great again, get rid of the government and get rid of the pale skinned people, man. That's it.
All right, put a pin in there right there for just a second. Coach Lee, I don't know if I had left you in the back room or not, man. I heard a beep, so if I did, I apologize.
No, not at all.
And
you good.
welcome on to the.
Thank
you. What's up, boss?
Welcome with the day's topic. We're talking about from sugar to shit. We're talking about politics, and it's no holds barred. Coach, I don't know if you heard a little bit about what was going on, but before we move on to some other things, you got any input or something you want to drop out there?
No, I'm just coming in. I'm definitely gonna get caught up to what everybody's talking about. What I've heard thus far, this couple of minutes of it, got some strong values in here. We got some beliefs, and we got some understanding that is just as much as ours as anybody else.
All right. Well, I'm gonna come back at Mr. Baker up there right quick. One of my Iraq friends that I work with in Iraq. But Harvey, now we know that the politicians lie. You will never see any politicians on Wizzo Talk because I don't want them getting on here lying to the people. I'm reaching out to average, everyday people getting their input or whatever. And I'm not reaching out to any celebrities because, for one thing, I don't know any of them motherfuckers and I don't want them on here anyway. I want just average, everyday people. So my point is, and what I'm getting ready to say is that we know that politicians lie all the damn time. But now 45 then got up there and said that he know, and I'm coming to you because you a military guy. He said he know more about what's going on than the generals know. And
that's bullshit.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, how in the hell can you know that?
Didn't mean to interrupt,
no, I'm glad you said it because that motherfucker don't know shit. He'll get people killed. There's a reason why those generals are up there and they give the feedback that they do. There's a reason why we're not at World War III right now because of those generals and people that do what they do.
Thank you.
When it comes to politics, I'm gonna tell you, Wizzo, you're on point with this one, brother, because the easiest job to retire from, if you really want to set your family straight, is become a politician.
That's true.
Every last one of them. I don't care if you are the dishwasher. If you get elected, you coming out there a millionaire, and you're gonna make more money after you leave than 20-year-old dodging bullets me, because the system is jacked up. To me, the biggest problem that we have with these politicians is that they have been so primed and set up to just tell you sound bites that they're really out of touch with regular America. And this is where I get on my platform of not being able to run for politics, because in politics, now coming to you, my man from Chicago, it's just like the gangs. You got to pick a side. You can't step on the side. You either gonna be affiliated where you live at, and you're gonna be a part, or you're gonna be the ops. That's just how it is in politics. But for me, old school American, old school Mr. Kick-Ass, I'm gonna call it like I see it. I don't care what color you are. If you my ops, you my ops. I don't care what color you are. If you got me and you support me, I got you. And that's the thing that politicians don't want to have, because if they have that, that breaks up their two-party rule. Again,
that's true.
America was not set to be a two-party situation.
That's a
But
fact.
these two
That's a
jokers
fact.
got behind the doors and they was like, look, these jokers will argue and fight for us. We don't have to do anything. All we got to do is tell them some things that they need to hear to keep the fight going. And when we close that door, we're going to dap it up. We're going to give ourselves a raise and forget them, to include the military.
Yep.
When I hear people from the military say they support Agent Orange, I'm like, dude, Agent Orange and a lot of those politicians are taking away benefits from us every day.
Yeah.
There's not a reason that anybody that wore the uniform should be broke or be turned down from a loan or homeless. But we have that, and I'm not going to even touch it to the VA. We have that because sound bites, thank you for your service, sounds good. But when you talk about supporting those veterans or any American that should be taken care of, that cuts into their play money. They're not going to give up their play money. They got accustomed to having that money. So they'll tell you anything they need to tell you to stay in that seat. And as soon as that vote is over and they're set, they forgot you. You can talk to them 2 years or 4 years later. And that's just how I see it. But as far as me, 100% all-American patriot, I'm going to stand on business with this. There's nobody that can tell me that this country is not better than any other country that I served in. There's nobody that can tell me that this country is still moving forward toward progress. And there's nobody that can tell me that I can't be the part of that movement toward progress. And the way that we do that is as a unified front. As soon as they got us separated, they win. That's the reason why when we talk about American, we got to talk about the Black American agenda, the Asian American agenda, the white American agenda, because as long as they can keep us separate, we're never going to get together. And here's a little secret from history that they keep out. Before we started doing racism in America, there was white slaves or enslaved people, and there was black enslaved people. And the people that ran them was a small number of rich people, land barons, that had everything working right. But as soon as those enslaved white people start talking to the enslaved black people and say, you know what? We ain't got to take this shit. We a house, the big house, and take everything. They was like, uh-oh, we got to divide and conquer because we don't have the numbers. And what's the best way to divide and conquer? Tell somebody that they're better than the other person and keep them fighting.
That's why I keep saying, man, we got to run this shit down, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to take this shit over, bro. At the end of the day, we sit here.
We got to do it as a team.
Exactly, though. We do. People got to stop being scared, bro. At the end of the day, if you'll fight for them, you should be able to fight for your own. And that's what it ends up boiling down to, because people will sit here and argue about Sleepy Joe or Trump. And it's like, bro, like I seen a video of Joe and he went up to a black church and said he was the reason for the civil rights movement. At the same time, they show old videos of him saying nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Talking about black people crazy.
I've always had a problem. I've always had a problem with, like my brother said a few minutes ago, if you want to, set your family up for life to be a politician. A lot of them come into those situations, they're average people, and they come out, they're multi-millionaires. Nobody ever sat up and asked the question, how is that possible? Why is that happening? The proof is in the pudding right there. And the only way to try to change that narrative, people got to wake up, get out of this gang mentality as far as I'm right, I'm left, and you got to be for the people at all times. And these people that doing, they work for us, and we don't hold them accountable. That's where the issue lies at right there.
That's the part.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, Rice. That's the part of the game we really need to discuss. Who do they work for? Because it's a corporate duopoly. They don't work for us.
Mm-hmm.
They work for the corporation.
Yep.
That's why the electoral college ain't gonna vote the way you want them to, or by the popular vote, because it's gonna do what's best for the corporation.
And that's weird that they do that too, though, because it's just like management at a job. Management at your job, they don't realize that they work for the people. They don't work for the corporation. You know what I'm saying? You're the voice for the people to help the people deal with the corporation. But instead, if you don't work with management how they want you to, they just fire you. And it's the same way with the government. Same exact way. They act like they don't work for you. It's the same with it's the same exact way with the police. They're supposed to be there to serve and protect, but they out there just killing people. They're not serving or protected. They got people feeling like they're more scared than anything.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna say on this touch base on Rice. I think you are whenever you're muted, I don't hear the echo. So I think it might be you giving us the feedback. But I'm gonna just say this since my viewer here then posted term limits. I'm a strong believer in the term limits because we got a bunch of them old motherfuckers up there running it, and they need to be out of there. I just want to also touch on RV. I know you military guy, and you've also said how military guys that you work side by side with support 45. I don't understand how he just fucking disrespected John McCain up there, a war veteran. So whenever you go against him, like Mad Dog Mattis, he was pumping Mad Dog up. Soon as the fuck Mad Dog went against him, Mad Dog ain't shit. So soon as you turn your back on that motherfucker, no show law to him, then he's against you or whatever. Then and like I said, we know that these guys lie. And like Seven was talking about Biden. Well, I've always said Biden remind me of some of you old school guys might know it. That motherfucker look like he playing the game of Mother May I. Joe, go back 5 steps. You didn't say Mother May I. You can't be walking forward. And then you got 45. He's all over the place. His vocabulary is probably like a 3-year-old. He has no idea what he's talking about. But then people say, well, he's a good businessman. Bullshit. The motherfucker then went bankrupt I don't know how many times on everything. And then they said, well, he's not a politician. So when somebody say that to me, I say, well, you know what? Since you got to go to the doctor, don't go see a doctor. Go see a damn plumber then. So you got to have some type of something. And he has no type of nothing. You go and here he is and talk about the border wall. He's talking about this. He's talking about that. Has no idea what's really going on with anything. But he's the president or was at that time and don't know shit, in my opinion. And I'm gonna yield my next few minutes to whoever else might got something to say.
No,
Paul, I want to say something on your comment about he doesn't know anything. Okay, and you're right.
Hold up just a second.
He is
Hold up a second. We got 2 people talking. Mark, go ahead. Rice, hold on just for a second.
Okay, just real quick. He doesn't know anything, but what he knows, he's a salesman. Okay, you don't necessarily have to be a subject matter expert to be a salesman. That whole MAGA, that theme, he knows what sells. That's all he ever has been. And that's all he ever will be. And he just parlayed that into, because I don't really think he expected to win initially when he ran for president. He came up on a theme, hey, this is working. Let me run with it. And he's been running with it ever since.
Yeah. All right. Rice, what you was going to say, Rice?
I think he knows a lot more than we give him credit for. Because, I mean, Epstein was doing what he was doing and got indicted under Barack Obama, but Barack didn't go get him. He went and got Epstein. I mean, that was huge. And that was huge for a lot of people. Because we learned one thing under Barack, CPS got turned up. He said, I'm hiring a lot more CPS people. And so a lot of the stuff that we say he doesn't know, sometimes the media will say, well, he doesn't know that. But if you listen to guys on the under, they're saying the same thing that he's saying. I don't know if he got it from him or not. Then that's why I like Baba Dick Gregory. Because he said it right off top. And this is why I like Cornel West, for us to get rid of the monolithic of the corporate duopoly, is because Cornel West said this election, I mean, not Cornel West, Baba Dick Gregory said this election, Trump and Biden is like voting for somebody that molests child once a week versus somebody that molests children twice a week. What you voting for?
I agree.
I agree. Strong statement.
I agree.
You're going to get a child molester no matter what you do.
Thank you.
And
Two
that's
sides of the same coin.
West. But it's like you tell our people about him, and he was marching with Martin Luther King in the civil rights. He know what he's talking about. He been doing this faithfully. He done been teaching these people at their own colleges about how to treat people. And one thing he'll tell you is they refuse to learn or listen. Because, like you said, if I can get somebody to think that they better than a person just because of the way they look, and the system is working for them, it's going to be hard to tell that the system ain't really working for you. And if this all crash, you going to be way worse off than me. I know they don't like me. You know they don't like you.
All right.
Yeah.
Come on with it, somebody.
To answer the question, do politicians lie? Is like asking, is the sky blue? Look, man, there's four people who have the same formula in their professions. It's preachers, politicians, pimps, and strippers. Okay, you can lie, and you don't have to be accountable for it. I don't know if any of you guys are fight fans here, but Trump and Biden going back at it is like a fight rematch. Don't want to see, right? It's like the champ loses, and you don't want to see the fight again, but he got to revoke his rematch clause. So you're like, damn, we got this again. You know, it's unfortunate, but to be completely honest, I gotta agree with Rice here. We don't. Trump does know a little more than I think we give him credit for sure. He is one of those guys who've just been able to persevere through bullshit and keep the face going and not necessarily have to be held accountable for it. And he's one of those guys where it's like it just worked. You can't. It's almost like you said. He's a salesman. Like he can just pitch it, and they fall for it. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be held accountable. They don't get questioned. What did you? How come you didn't come through in this and that and that? They just run again until you don't want to vote for him anymore. But that's basically what it is, man. And yeah, he's a little sharper than we think. But do I think he should he be in this position? Absolutely not. No way, man. No way. But hey, you know.
I agree with you, Melvin, and I like how you put things together as fight, because I'm a big fight fan myself. But this is a rematch that nobody wants to see. But again, just like Trump showing that privilege works, and that's why a lot of people, whether they want to say it or not, they really want to have a taste of that privilege that he's been enjoying his whole life. This old fight is proven that nobody is really here for the country or even the party. It's about the individual ego. As much as people are trying to make Biden the guy, he's outdated, man. And if he really cared for the country, he would say, I need my party to put somebody else in to be strong. But he'll never say that because it's all about ego.
Of course.
With Trump, his whole thing about running really is to be out of jail. He don't give a damn about running. He wants to get up in there so he can have that immunity that, okay, you might be able to go after me, but now I'm the president, so you can't do anything. And while I'm in here, I'm gonna be setting up funds and people to make sure I'm taken care of once I got out of there. When I look at these two old white men saying that they want to do the best for the country, what I see is two people that are proven to the United States of America that they don't give a damn about America. They don't give a damn about their parties. Only thing they care about is their legacy and their connection, and they're willing to go up to the age of 100 if they live that long to stay up there before they let anybody else go before them. That's what I see.
Cared about the country.
Trump, he really tripped me out when he talked to white people, because he talked to white people the same way Biden talked to black people. Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Trump said, these people so stupid, I could stand right here and kill somebody right in front of them, and they'll believe what I say.
Well, what it is they feel like they don't need to hide it anymore. They feel like they can be wide open and say, look, I can say 2 + 2 is 5, and niggas just gonna say it's 5. You know what I'm saying? That there's no contest anymore, right? Now this might be a little off rip, but I think I don't necessarily believe Trump is actually I wouldn't say, I don't know how guilty he is, right? Nobody really knows. It's all assumption unless we were
It's
the
in there
people involved.
somewhere.
Yeah, there's a little foul play for sure. I said that early in the show. I do believe there's some foul play there for sure. And he was known. He's been active for being greedy when it comes to business. So we can all assume he has some greed in him for sure. But I think personally, man, he pissed one of those people off. And we all know we're in the whole cancel culture era where like you mess up, now everything gets brought up. And I think he pissed one of those guys off, man. I feel like when we were talking about the corporation earlier, in my opinion, the banks run the country. The banks push the buttons. They've always pushed the buttons. 19 under Woodrow Wilson, they do the Federal Reserve Act. Come to find out, the Federal Reserve's not even federal. Just a whole bunch of rich white folks who own banks. And then 20 years later, boom, Great Depression. Then 3 years after that, they use us as Social Security. They make up Social Security to use us as collateral to pay back a loan that they know they can never pay back, right? So ever since then, the presidents have always been the do boys, as we say in the hood, the do boys for the bankers. And I feel like at this point, Trump had to piss off one of those people to the point where they want to put him in jail. Because if he does what they say, they don't need to put him in jail. They would just keep him protected, like they keep them all protected if they mess up. It's no different than if Dak Prescott gets a DUI and Jerry Jones covers it up, right? Owners do it for their athletes all the time. So I think Trump made a boo-boo, and he's definitely going to pay for it if he don't damn election.
He made a couple of boo-boos.
Yeah,
I
okay.
just got to add that on there, Wizzo. He made a couple of boo-boos, and you exactly right. His biggest problem is his mouth. If he wouldn't have said half the stuff that he said, he would have been reelected.
100%.
He'd have been reelected.
But that's what people like about him, because and to Mr. Wizzo's point when he said, well, he's not a politician, and then use the doctor analogy, right? Well, the thing is, common people are imperfect. Everybody lies.
Right.
Everybody uses slang. Everybody curses when they're not supposed to sometimes. Human people are prone to mistakes. That's just what we are. So there's a difference between understanding and relation. It's like we all had women before, right? We know they go through periods and stuff. We don't understand because we don't go through periods, but we can relate. He's gotten these people to relate to him. That's why they go for it. They might not even understand what the hell he's talking about half of the time. Or the people referring to when he's up there. They don't care. They just want to watch Trump because that's what they relate to. And as long as he keeps doing that, he gonna have these white folks vote for him. And some of these niggas. And
already. Well, just to put it back out there, we talk about from sugar to shit. We got a little politic talk going on. And it's not just to the president or Trump or Biden or one of them guys. If you guys want to bring up something, I have in my notes to bring up something about Greg Abbott funky ass, but I just hadn't got to it yet. So just putting it out there. But
Talking
just to
about Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Can I say something on Wizzo and show you how politics work?
Go ahead.
I got some information not too long ago. I was listening to Lyndon Baines Johnson. He took over after they killed Kennedy,
our last real president.
There was two things that stuck out with me that he said. He said this about black people, niggas. He said niggas. He said if I can get niggas to vote Democrat for 2 generations, I can get them to vote for 200 years.
Yes. Yep.
Then he turned around and said if I can get poor white people to think that they're better or have somebody to stand on or think that they're better than black people, they'll empty their pockets to me. They'll
empty their pockets. Yep. Yep.
So this is a plan.
Like talking about that.
We got to get rid of the corporate duopoly. We have to abandon ship. I mean, I don't know if this is fact or fiction. I'm still researching it. But from what I understand, because of the way the structure of the legal system versus the lawful system is set up on this land, we're in a maritime law, and our Constitution is actually it's not working right now. It's not. We're not up under the Constitution. It's suspended. So that's
Hey
why
guys,
they're
just
going the way that they're going. We've got to get rid of these whole people like they're doing in Niger, like they're doing in Gabon over in Africa. They kicked the French out, and the black dude that was operating with the United States and the French, he's on house arrest. He don't know where his wife or his son is, and they won't go get him. Like, he's on house arrest. If he leave his house, they're gonna kill him.
right.
We got to be green.
7, I think 7 getting ready to exit on the 7. Did you have something you want to throw out before you have to get out?
Oh no, I like what my man just said, man. That's what we need to be doing here, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Just exile these people, man, and put them in their place. Pretty much, the whole world is uprising against their governments and stuff like that. We really need to be paying attention to what's going on, man. That's pretty much about it.
Right.
Comment.
Okay. All right.
Paul.
Go ahead.
I've heard people mention corporate duopoly. You know, mention what Lyndon Baines Johnson. We know about the Republicans. I mean, whether you pick the R, the D, it seems like we messed over. What I like to hear some solutions.
Okay.
I got some. I got
Go
some.
ahead.
Term limits.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
we don't have to go to war and stuff, but one of the things that I've been adamant about since I first voted back in 1988 is these term limits. We got it on the highest position in the land, the president, but why don't we have it for our members of Congress and stuff? Part of the biggest problem is that we can never get rid of the trash because it's allowed to stay there and fester. There should be nobody that is in office for 20 or 30 years, man. They got
so you vote them out. So if you have term limits, whether it's 2 limits, 3 limits, what's going to stop you from voting in some new trash?
Well, that's part of the problem that we have to take on by having more than just one party. But I still think putting in some new trash is better than the old trash that's sitting there
old trash
and
is
creating
cocky.
this. Well, the old trash is making those interconnections to make sure anything that comes in fits with the old trash.
Mm-hmm.
If you take, let's just take a fungus, if you will. You have a fungus behind your garbage can, and you spray it with some bleach, and you get some new fungus there. That new fungus is not going to spread as much, and you're able to spray it and get it out of there. But if you have some fungus behind that garbage can, and what you do is breeze over it and keep throwing trash on it, there's going to get a point to where the place under the garbage can is rotting through the floor. And right now, our politics, as I see it, is rotting through the floor. Anybody that comes in to politics right now today, fresh face, new ideas, are going to make a change for America, gets behind that closed door after the election, they tell them, you only got one term to fuck up. You either going to roll with us or we're going to get you up out of here one way or another.
That part.
Choose.
That part.
Yeah. And the thing that we have to do as Americans, to me, is not go kill and exile people. We're a little better than that. But we do need to stand up and say, we are not going to have a two-party system because our government was not made for that in the first place. They manipulated to do that. And we're going to start putting term limits on everybody.
Yeah. Right.
I think that.
I agree with that on the term limit deal. Go ahead, Coach.
I think that, and also, from our point of view, what we can do, we gotta, not saying us per se, but people gotta stop being lazy voters. Find out about who you're voting for. It's nothing worse. I hear somebody say, I go in and I vote straight ticket. We gotta stop doing that shit. You gotta make sure, who do you align with? Sometimes in some situations, you gotta go to the left. Some situations, you gotta go to the right. Find out who you align with and make your educated decision from that standpoint.
Can I add to that?
Right.
Like, we tend to focus on the president. Is it not important to know who your judges are? The DA, the local city councilman. Yes, all of these local people have as maybe even a bigger impact on our daily lives. I mean, the president, like somebody mentioned, I'm not sure if I vote for Trump or Biden, is it really a difference? I think I heard somebody mention that earlier. Is it really a difference? But the DA, that determines whether our relatives may get prosecuted for a crime or not. The judge that sits on the bench, those people can have a direct impact on us or the people in our lives. And I think we overlook them because we get so focused on the president.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Because the president
and
is gonna run your city. The president gonna run the nation. If you international stuff, that's when you worry about the president. But if you far as you worry your local stuff, you need to worry about who around you. Who do
well, I think that's part because
is that Rice that's TV. Talking?
Yes,
because I agree with you, Mr. Rice. And I like to look at this as, I'm not gonna say martial arts because I love martial arts, but I'm gonna put it in the building perspective. You can't build a solid building on a sandy foundation.
Amen.
You got to have a solid foundation. That solid foundation is in local politics. You know, we look at the president, we're talking about some international actions that's going on up there. It is almost impossible to touch that. But that DA right there where you at, that councilman, oh, you can do more than touch it. You can actually get out there and run. Or put somebody in position and back them to run because you know them inherently. And just like Coach Lee was saying, make an informed decision to vote. We can't take it for granted that the news and social media is going to give us the information we need. We got to do that research. When they have these town halls, you got to get out there and ask them those questions and have them answer to your face the questions that you need to know about your community. And if we start from there, I believe that not only can we affect change all the way up to the presidency, we can also affect how they're running us with the term limits.
I think the problem is it's not culture, right? I'm 26 years old, and being voter savvy isn't the norm for young Black people, myself, right? Being knowledgeable about, let's be honest, niggas ain't even going to their kids' PTA meeting, let alone watching, you know what I'm saying? Let alone watching C-SPAN, right? So it's like, to be honest, it's not our culture. It's not our markup. It's not what we make important. It's not what we promote as cool, right? So once we make knowing your city councilman, your DA, your judges, sheriffs, once we make that cool, your governor, your state governor, knowing these people, knowing their policies, knowing what they stand for, are they accountable? Do they back up their county or their cities? Do they back that up? Once we make that cool, once we prioritize that, then it will be a change. But unfortunately, what most people, even if they want to get into politics or want to be more informed, it's Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. It's not C-SPAN. It's not going to town hall meetings. It's not, if you go on your social media right now and start scrolling, it ain't nobody saying, I'm going to the town meeting, y'all, who all coming? Niggas not doing that.
Right.
Niggas not doing that. You know,
right.
It's okay to be optimistic, but we got to be realistic.
You said a mouthful right there, man. And I got to say that there's no truest statement that you said right there is about us getting involved and going against what the norm is. Because you're right. There's people rarely showing up to the PTA meeting. But
no. People going, but they ain't Black.
Yeah. Well, our people are not going to it. I go to it. But I'm going to tell you something else I also do. I don't check C-SPAN and beat my daughter over the head, but I'll put CNN on and they mention something and I'll ask her, what do you know about that? And we'll have a conversation about it when I take her to school. When something pops up on the news about the law enforcement, because I'm near Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, you know, we got some stuff popping off since George Floyd and before. But this little 11-year-old knows more than a lot of adults because she's not just on social media. Her dad's in her face telling her that boring stuff to the point where she's like, I didn't know that was connected. And you're right. We do have to have those conversations, but I really think, I won't say the challenge, but the goal is to try to get a rally of people to say, no, we're going to go to this this community meeting we're gonna go to this open forum and we're gonna have some questions for this
But
lady or
the
this man that's
problem
supposed to be
is
supporting us.
it's the age gap though, right? Like my dad is late 40s, right? He wasn't into politics until he got a little older, right?
Mhm.
So the thing is, it's not only making it culture, but like you said, from what you're doing with your daughter, which is great. You know, you got to crawl before you walk, right? Baby steps. We have to make it the norm in the household, right? Like I seen a short video with Amanda Seals, right? And she was going around like the random black people
Mhm.
asking, "Hey, what are all the members of Destiny Child, or what's the 3 members of the Migos?" And black folks was getting them out the, out the blue. And then she goes, "How many governors in the United States?" They couldn't answer because we know culture, but we don't know the country. We don't, you know what I mean? Like they don't know it's, oh, the answer is 100 because it's 2 per state, right? We average, we don't know that because it's not culture, but we'll know Destiny's Child and you freaking 18, you weren't even alive when they last album. You get what I'm saying? It's culture. We have to make politics culture, and even it's not even just who you vote for. It's just the knowledge of it.
We got to change
That's
the narrative of that.
But
You say you're
I think
26, right?
I think that's for anybody in the United States. My daughter's 12. I go to their meet. Ain't nobody there. Nobody. I seem to be by myself with just a few concerned parents about wanting to meet the teachers and see who my daughter's dealing with more than me all week. Nobody's there. And I see a lot of videos where they ask anybody on random streets, and a lot of people don't know anything about the politics until it's cool, until they want a sticker to say they voted. I don't see
What you
anybody.
gonna say, Coach Lee?
I was gonna say, he, my man, the Melvin, I think my eyes are
Yes,
bad.
sir.
He was saying
Oh,
he
you're
was
good.
26, and talking about he and his dad and their journey through, to understand, the political schemes. Believe it or not, I really didn't start getting into politics to the point I'm in now until this last election in 2020. And you know who helped get me there? My son, who's 24. He
Yeah, see, I'm 26, so I'm
see,
there with
he
my dad. Yeah.
laughs and he says, I paid attention in class. I understood, what they were talking about, and I'm able to analyze, what's important to me. And he and I, we have candid conversations all the time. And to the point that now my daughters, who are 26 and 29, they're up to speed now. And so we sit around, at dinner time, we talk about stuff and the grandkids and things like that. But we also talk about things like that, that's important. And like you said, we have to make it part of the culture. It goes back to things become culture for us because if it's something that we don't align with, we shame it. Case in point, how many times we hear people trying to say, I don't want to go to jury duty. We need to get our ass in jury duty. We can be the
Yeah.
difference between a brother getting a fair trial and not.
100%.
And you got to think about people in front of us, before us, what they went through just for the opportunity to vote and be in jury duty. We are obligated to do that, or all that was for naught.
But the reason why I
Gotcha.
bring up nobody's doing it is because this is the perfect time for us to sneak in, because it's we could make
Right.
history and not cool.
That's attention.
Everybody
The Trojan
Well,
horse.
and this is just me. I think the only time that it seems like people of color or blacks can come together if it's for a fucking march or to march about somebody that got shot. Then you got a gazillion people out there. But where was your ass at when it was time to go on and vote or do this or vote local or vote whatever? I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. I got a couple of notes. And then just to touch on when Mark was talking about something, I forgot what that was, but just to talk about the country, and I had a podcast on this. Right now, it's being ran by a bunch of old motherfuckers that need to retire. And we talked about term limits. So he said, well, who's next when you come in? Well, you get this shit out, you bring some more shit in. And just like Arby was saying, well, that shit ain't gonna really kind of trickle to that shit right off. But you have to get these guys because they own a power trip. Mitch McConnell, I call him Mr. Freeze. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all them guys, they too freaking old. They millionaires already. But like Coach was saying, somebody go up there, they just vote straight freaking ticket, And so that motherfucker's in there for another 10, 20 years or whatever, because every time they vote straight ticket. And then just to touch on something with the politics kind of remind me, and I'm not exactly how it goes, but when I was watching Eddie Murphy and the Distinguished Gentleman, and there was this one scene where the guy asked Eddie Murphy after he won, he said, I'm gonna just use cotton for example, because I don't remember. He said, well, what do you think about cotton? So Eddie Murphy said, well, I don't know. What should I think about it? So he said, well, if you're for it, I got this group of money for you over here. If you're against it, I got this bunch of money over here for you.
I remember that scene. Yeah.
So that's what they are. It's just the money thing. And then my last point, then I open up the floor and y'all yield my 10 minutes. I got that off that lady Jasmine, whatever. I yield my 10 minutes after whatever. Let me finish this though. So a while back, I had a podcast and I asked this guy, I know he was a diehard Republican, Trump supporter, suck his dick from the back, from the side, everything. So I asked him, what is the Republican Party doing for the middle class? I got no answer out of that. But I know for a fact a little bit what the Dems is doing for the middle class. But then I've heard a guy say, well, you know, the Democrats are taking advantage of our votes for years. But everybody knows, and I only know a little bit about politics. If you have a Republican president, like when Trump was in there, now I turn on the TV and they talking about the damn border wall. Well, when Trump was in there, I think, and I'm not sure, but they control the House and the Senate. They do shit about the border wall. They couldn't even get rid of Obamacare. You know, so now it's all about this border wall or whatever. But just to go on and get my last few things in. So you have the Republicans, everything that they're saying, I haven't seen, and you guys can kind of let me know because I don't follow it that much. Haven't seen anything that they're really talking about doing for the middle class. Joe Biden was talking about getting the school loan shit, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say.
Student loan forgiveness.
You know, forgiveness. Thank you. But you have 6 Republican states that's going against that. Now I know that there's some Republicans out there that's got school loans, but my thing is, you know, once it goes from the House, it goes to the Senate, then it goes to the president. So the Republicans right now, they're controlling the House. They're not sending shit over to the Senate. Then so it's just all just kind of jacked up. They're on their power trip, and I'm talking fast so I can go and get my last few minutes in so I can open it up for somebody else. But they're not together on anything. They on their power trip. The Republicans don't want Joe Biden to have credit for jack. They trying to impeach the Homeland Security guy. I think they did. They trying to do everything they can to get back at him, but about Hunter Biden, you know, we don't give a shit about a lot of that right there. And then I'm gonna just say on Israel, we sending money over to Israel. Well, Israel is already kicking the shit out of Gaza, so I don't know why Israel needs some of the money. And then we're sending money over here to Ukraine or whatever. And so it's just a lot of shit going on. And I covered a whole lot of that little point. So, but I'm gonna yield my last few minutes over to somebody else to take the mic.
There's no middle class anymore. That's why there's nobody can really say much about the middle class, because you can claim you're the middle class like myself, but let you miss 1 or 2 goddamn checks, your ass po, you broke. So to me, you're rich or you're poor. There's no in between anymore. There's no middle. We can use the whole inflation reasoning or whatever, but at this point you can't even generalize a plan if that group is diminishing, right? They're either going up or they're going down, but they're not really staying alive. So it's hard to devise a plan for the middle class.
I think the middle class is standing pretty still. I think they go unnoticed, and I think they live well below their means. Like the middle class people probably live in a small house, and the husband works, and the wife is a stay-at-home wife, even though they're not like living in mansions and nothing. She's probably got the same agenda as a woman that lives in a mansion, except for she ain't got all the cleaning ladies and stuff like that. She do it herself. She's very conservative because they're gonna have they understand the importance of having their money and investing their money. That's another part of the game that we're not playing, and that's why it's hard to get it deep into politics too, is because we don't really have a stronghold on anything that matters. such as commerce. You know, we don't in my town, we do have now a black uh student council lady. But the Mexicans also got a chamber of commerce. We don't have a black chamber of commerce. How come we just can't have a Temple chamber of commerce? What happened? Why do they got a chamber of commerce? You understand what those words mean? It's how you move stuff around. Commerce. We don't
Well,
have
you
one.
can't hardly get you
Go
can't
ahead,
hardly
Wizzo.
get oh, sorry about that. Yeah, you can't. And I hear you. I think Colleen has a black chamber of commerce, but I'm not sure. But you can't hardly get blacks to come together for shit. Like I said before March, they're not coming to the PTA, the student council. They're not doing jury duty. And you talking about a black chamber of commerce? It'll be nice. It'll be good, but you can't hardly get. I can't. I go to, when I was doing the Masonic stuff, you can't halfway get enough of them in there to open up a Masonic meeting. You know, so you know, I would love to see that day, but I don't think we're there. I don't think we're into it. I don't know, but let me touch on one or two other things before I forget, because y'all, I'll be forgetting stuff right off. So, and this was kind of funny, but so I watched Trump get a speech, right? And he was saying, you got to pay your bills. You know, if so-and-so asked me whatever, I forgot what it was, I told him, no, we're not going to help him. I'm going to tell Russia to do what you got to do, because you borrowed money, you got to pay the bill. I think this mother sucker didn't file bankruptcy, what, about 20 times? I mean, you're not paying your bills or more. So, you know, that just, they so all
a lot of people file for
completely through.
Because when you start losing in business, that's what you do. You keep the cash, you hide the cash, you file for bankruptcy, you don't pay anything back. That's why they changed the tax code and that and started making people pay something back on the bankruptcy now, because the filings was, okay, my business was booming, I was making $1 million a year, now I ain't making nothing. So what am I gonna do? I filed for bankruptcy. I changed the name, I filed for bankruptcy. Now I don't know nobody nothing. And you know, Trump said it. He said that the system is rigged. And they said, well, how do you know? He said, because I use it. Admitting to being a crook.
He used it in a lot of politics.
That's why people like him.
But I want to touch on that part where we were talking about the middle class. The middle class, in my opinion, is really shrinking, and we really have a case of the rich, the people that's trying not to be poor, and the people that are actually poor. And the benefit to those in politics is that everything is about money. If you look at politics, every year they say more money has been spent this year on the presidential election than ever, and it keeps going up. Well, they're getting that money from somebody, and it's those affluent rich people. When it comes to the middle class, and I include the military in the middle class, because I was legit poor until I became a soldier and a retiree, where I'm the middle class trying to stay from being poor again. That packet is shrinking, and you can tell because the numbers of the people joining the military is nowhere close to where it used to be, to the point where they're in danger of missing numbers every year. Now, why do I bring this up? I bring it up because when I've been looking at this whole us versus them and politics stuff, the one thing that stays at the forefront of my mind is that as long as we have this argument in silos being separate, they're always going to be able to win. And when we were talking about like the commerce, a black commerce, white, Mexican commerce, if we would actually have a one group connection, those wealthy politicians would be in trouble. They count on us staying separate, because as long as you can separate, you can cause those two or those three to argue, and they never focus on the big problem, which is the politicians that are wealthy. And until we do that, I think we're always going to have that problem. So my suggestion, because I don't want to just come up here and say, hey, this is the problem, and I see the problem. I want to offer a solution. My solution is, let's start talking to those other poor or middle-class people to talk about where we have something in common. because that intersection is going to be the thing that brings us forward. The last time I was in Chicago, one of the coolest things that I saw that I couldn't believe was that there were white people coming to the south side of Chicago. Now, I'm a Chicagoan from the 70s. The only white people we saw over there was a couple of cops that came over there, and then some people that were from Iran that we mistaken for being white. Now they're coming over there, and they're not coming over there just to appropriate cheap land. They're actually coming over there with a plan and agenda to uplift a group. And we don't ever hear about them. And this is where I know it's good, because anything that's doing well, they keep it out of the news. Anything that's going to be uplifting, they try to keep that shit out of the news, because if the shit catches on like wildfire, they're going to be a problem. Just like the poor people's what do you call that? Not the poor people's parade, but
Poor
the
people's
thing that, huh?
The Poor People's Party.
Yeah, the Poor People's Party. The Poor People's Party was really on something big until '68, and the Poor People's Party is still together. But I've been watching what they're doing, and one of the things I think they could do a little better is not to make it one-dimensional, because there's a lot of poor people in America. There's a lot of towns out there that are just, man, you want to talk about poverty, go up to Kentucky and Virginia and take some of them side roads. You'll see some stuff you wouldn't believe. Hell, go to Detroit and go 2 miles outside of downtown Detroit. You wouldn't believe that you're still in the United States. These are the people that need to be educated and brought to, oh, man. You talk about Louisiana. You know what Thibodeau is?
I've been there.
Yeah, I grew up in Thibodeau.
That's
And
crazy. Yeah,
man,
I moved furniture out there. It's rough.
The poverty, I thought I knew poverty in Chicago. When I went to Louisiana, the poverty that's down there is not even making the books, because they don't care no more. There's people that stand out in the swamps and the bayous and stuff that are disconnected from the world. And when I say disconnected, they ain't got no cell phone, they ain't got no cable.
It might be better off out there.
They're doing good, but people are taking advantage of that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
They're taking advantage, because there's a small pocket of people that's making a killing in Louisiana. But the rest of the Louisianans are struggling, man, to the point where their water's getting poisoned on the daily from the Mississippi. The Mississippi actually backed up and brought salt water into the marshes. They don't talk about it. Why? Because that's where the poor people live at, in Lafourche Parish and Terrebonne Parish and Assumption Parish. But
right,
if we want to see change, we got to get those people educated and brought together to make a change, because as long as we don't and we keep it separate, the rich people will keep on saying, well, we're sorry for your loss, but we need to give a couple more billions overseas, and we need to give a couple more billions to ourselves. Don't forget to vote.
Yeah,
that was wow.
Coach, I think you were about to say something, but I was just going to add those states, Louisiana and Kentucky. I think Mitch McConnell's over Kentucky, and he's a millionaire. And I can't think of who's over Louisiana, and I bet he or she is a millionaire. But they're not doing anything for it. But they're millionaires. But I'm gonna leave that right there. Put it. Coach, were you about to say something?
I did. I forgot I was going to say.
Oh man,
it's all good.
Okay. Well, let me hit y'all with this.
Coach.
Let me hit y'all with this. There's always a what if. Everybody always want to do a what if. So my what if right now is, what if Obama was on trial like all this, like Trump is? So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. What if Obama was out there on trial and all this shit like Trump is right now?
Trial will be over, and he'd be serving this time as we speak. They probably try to put the kids in jail too.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about that.
Because of who he is.
Who he got
he's not anybody who.
Well, you gotta understand. You gotta understand this the same guy who had a clean record. This nigga ain't got a tattoo. His voice don't match his face. I mean, like, he ain't got no baby mama pop up out of nowhere. So for him to be on trial like this, it will be two sides to the coin. It will be one side going, there's no way he did any of that stuff that lined on him. And then there's the other side that going, I knew it was something about that nigga. He was just too perfect, right? So honestly speaking, I think it would have been an OJ case. It just would have been drugging out so long because, you know, we love entertainment. We love a good story. There's no way this would have been case sealed and booked because it would have been too much of a fight on both sides. There's going to be people going, he ain't do that. We love him. That's our guy. And there's going to be other people going, man, get that Hawaiian nigga in there. We don't need that nigga out here. You know what I'm saying? So I personally think it would have been must-see TV. So I don't think it would have been done immediately because it would have been internationally like a thing. It would have been America. It would have been the most American shit on TV at the moment.
I agree with you on that. If we're talking about Obama as a man, my opinion was based on if Obama was dirty like Agent Orange.
Gotcha.
Because I agree with you. You're right. He is so articulate that it would be a moot case to bring him to court. But if he was
that
as
would be
grimy
like that
as
would be like
Trump
if they let me run though. That would be like if they let me run, like the comic who say what he want. They not go listen. If they wanted a black guy in there, they gonna get Barack Hussein Obama. They're not gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a pro wrestling kid, right? Like pro wrestlers did more for black people, black kids than Barack Obama. I might not believe I could have been the president watching Obama, but I believe I could whoop any nigga in the world when I saw John Cena or Hulk Hogan. You get what I'm saying? Or Jeff Hardy. So I don't personally believe he was like the face for change and hope for small young black people. But that bad as Trump was, 45, I don't even think he would have got that far.
He wouldn't even been involved
not being black. No.
He wouldn't even been involved in politics. If he had any kind of resume Trump had, he wouldn't have been involved in politics. He'd have been a rapper.
100%.
He would have been.
He'd be the nigga asking you for cigarettes outside.
Hey, I guess that's why I'll probably never be able to be in politics because I'm that guy. I'm not going to lie, but I'm that guy. They might turn on C-SPAN and see me putting the camel clutch on somebody because I'm a pro wrestling fan too. But
that's why I bring up Dick Gregory because Baba Dick Gregory always said, yeah, I was in entertainment. I was a real good comedian. I'm the one that, you know, the white folks actually first came to see because they wasn't going to let black people tell jokes in front of white people back then because they didn't want them to know you had an intellect.
Right.
They said the person that took a chance on him was the man who ran the Playboy Mansion, Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner.
That's how he broke in.
Yeah.
90% of the comedy clubs was owned by what the Italians, those white people, you know, they couldn't stand. Like, so he said that's how he got in, but he didn't hang with them because he didn't want that dirty slate. He saw how dirty they was and how they used it against each other in the crunch. That's how politics work. This is what I know about you. Why do I think they went to Mar-a-Lago down there? I'll just brainstorm with me. Remember when they went down there with the arrest warrant? Because you know they got a call before they go in because he probably got an army down there surrounding it.
Well, that privilege.
They all went to his hotels. They all went to his casinos, and he's subject to have cameras in their room. Who's to say he not videotaping everybody that's important, saying if you don't do what I say, I'll let them know this. I'll let them know that.
Well, it's all about leverage, and even in Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, he says if you don't negotiate if you're not willing to walk away, right? So even in his book, that's probably why he went bankrupt so many times because he knows if you don't have leverage, you can't negotiate. You don't have an argument. You have no fight here. So
that word leverage makes me think of Putin when you talk about 45 and leverage.
What do I know?
I'm
just some comic. I don't know anything, man.
Leverage is something, boy. People be quiet.
In my understanding, who running this country right now is the white hats of the military because they know everything. They're everywhere. They know everything. They're telling these people what to do now because they can get rid of them if they don't.
You know what's a misconception on the military, and it's crazy that as high up as we have the military in the United States, the people that run the military is really people that's never been in the military.
Yep, 100%. And that's why when they
a lot
ask
of
me,
stuff that we do. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say a lot of stuff we do is at the direction of those damn civilians. I'll turn it over to you, sir.
And that's why when people ask me, do I back the troops? I said, well, it's not really about supporting the troops, because in my opinion, the troops, they align with policy, right? They're so it's whatever the motive is, they do their job. That's why I say thank you for your service. They're serviceable. So if they get the note, hey, go do this, or we're gonna have this happen in this month on the 11th day in 2001 because we want to go over there and do this, then they do what they got to do. But it's not really about supporting them. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're good-hearted people fighting for the country, but there's people telling them what to do, and that's really what it is. So it's not about, like, that's why I don't feel like I don't support troops, or it's not about supporting them. Of course I support what they do, but they regard to policy.
Yeah, from what I understand, even our military branches, they're privately owned. I'm not for sure if that's true, but I heard a guy named Mark from Anaheim that been on the Carl Nelson show for over 20 years that was like Dick Gregory early warning signal. He said, look, I was a Mustang general. Let me tell you this. The last people that owned the United States Army before all the mergers was DuPont, that family. These are the things we need to start looking at when we going over to these other countries. It don't be because of what we doing. It be because of what we want. And they're easily fooled by, the media. These people are terrible people. They're doing this. Well, hold on, wait a minute. They're doing that to me at home.
Well, I would say this, speaking up for the military side, that it's not so much that the military is ran by a private entity, which is pretty much impossible to do, but our focus and our direction comes civilians that have a connection with the military. And I have to talk about the history of it, to be honest. A lot of the military has changed from being strictly government to government with civilian support, i.e. KBR. And Wizzo, we went over there together with KBR. KBR, it makes a lot of money from the military, and that's a civilian entity. They basically made it to try to take the soldiers away from the support section. Now, this is important because the soldiers doing support would make 1/3 of what Wizzo and I was making over there to support. But that money is not going to me and Wizzo. That money is going to the agency that sent us over there, because they're making 5 times what that soldier would make over there doing support. So
when we look contracts.
Right. The government contracts is the biggest. If you want to see the biggest employer in the United States, bar none, it's the government contracts. And they do it for more than just the military. And that's how they have the control. That's why when we talk about the military complex, it was never about the soldiers, because if the soldiers could get a fifth of what they give to the military complex, I guarantee you there'd be no poor soldiers anywhere.
Really? I like that. I like the way you broke
it. Well, let me ask.
I heard that before.
Yeah, all that money goes to the military complex. The people in the military, and it's a blessing and a curse, are the people that are trying to make, for the most part, a better life for themselves. A lot of people get down on the military and say, hey, man, they're taking advantage of your poor people to join the military, and they're taking advantage of people in bad situations to join the military. But from somebody that was poor, I mean, like Poe without the O-R on the end of it. Yeah. Dude, I showed up to the military with 3 pair of drawers, and 2 of them wasn't mine. 20 years later, I've seen the world. I'm not rich by no means, but I'm not wondering if my lights and water going to get cut off like I was before, because being in the military provided me an opportunity, not just to make more money and make sure my kids never live like I live, but it also gave me a perspective to see the world outside of Chicago, Illinois, or Thibodaux, Louisiana. So we look at this
Cool.
military, we really got to be able to break it up into the situations of those that can use it to advance themselves versus those rich people that take advantage of how it's set up right now to make money off the government.
Editor Gear Media's in Chicago right now. That's where she lives. That's I shared you out, man. So I tried to get them in there.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I just put that up also. So let me just ask this right here. So I heard you guys talk about Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, and the leverage and everything. So that explains to me why he told the GOP about that immigration bill to hold out until you get everything that you want. Don't do the deal. So that's where I guess that came about. But how can you
getting it?
If you don't have control of the House or the Senate, then how I mean, you're not going nowhere if you don't negotiate. You're not going to get everything you want. Who gets everything they want? I don't know. So I'm just putting that out there. And then just to touch base on, and then you guys come in. I think Melvin, you said something. I hate to go back to Obama, but we just talking about politics in general.
Sure.
I think you were saying something about, and I've heard other people say, what did Obama do for black people? He didn't do nothing for us. It's this other guy, Dr. somebody, Umar, whatever. He said something to that form. But my thing on this is, and I don't follow it that much, but here it is. You have, I think the Republicans control the House and the Senate during that time. So you can only do so many things by executive order. So it no matter what he has up there on his agenda, Mitch McConnell, Mr. Freed, wasn't fixed to let anything go by or wasn't going to let anything pass. So I watched.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Question. I got one question. I hate to cut you off because I I love you.
Oh, hey, it's open game. Shit, speak what you speak.
That's real. See, now the Texas in you coming out. See, now I'm fucking with you. Now, listen. I got no problem with Obama. Like I'm independent, right? So I don't look at it from a Republican standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm just the nigga at home watching the game, bro. I'm not a fan, right? Now, this is what's unfortunate to me. So, unfortunately, because life is all about perspective and experience, right? We all see things differently. We hear things differently. So, when I was living and I saw the plethora of police genocide in the country at that time when Obama was in office, I didn't see or feel any pressure from him to make a change except for common Obama rhetoric. Hey, well, we have to do better and all that. But I saw the LGBTQ community get law after law after law, being able to get married over and over. So it's not saying he didn't do anything. I'm just saying man, I thought I would have been able to buy white people. Like when he was in office.
That was an easier feat. And you gotta understand the politics in it, because like someone spoke earlier, the divide makes all the money. They make the bullets, the guns, and the caskets. They just need you fighting.
That's it.
They need you fighting.
That's it.
They making money. You getting mad.
Just the muscle. Yeah, you right. They got no feelings. This business.
They say we gonna have and we ain't gonna do nothing he say, because we want black people to still understand that white people don't have to do nothing you say. Because the people that are our neighbors, which I don't really call them white people anymore, because in my mind state, white is a mind state. It's not a color. If you got to go to work like me, you ain't no better than me. You might as well be me.
That part.
Yeah.
You get where I'm
Can I
coming from?
press out on that point you made about the gays? All right, okay. If put yourself in the position of a democratic power structure, Obama's a part of that.
Sure.
Why offer African Americans anything if they've been voting for you 90% for the last
vote for him just because he black.
Okay, so what is your motivation to offer this group of people they're going to vote for you anyway, whether you give them $1 or $100, you still got their vote.
That's fair.
I'm not saying it's right, but
it's fair. Yeah, you're
Probably
right.
because of the narrative that we've always had the perception of they take care of their own. They're in power. They're in office. They pass laws and do things based on them. And we thought once we got one of us in there, we have that the same type of ability, and it didn't play out that way.
Yeah, they
And
probably
I
like.
gotta
You have to
say
also
this,
remember that.
I'm a big Obama man, so I gotta say this. That's my man, 100 grand. But let's look at this in a different perspective.
okay.
If he got up there and he didn't do the things he did, do you think he would have got reelected?
No.
And
But
I would tell you my answer would be no, because that's what they were expecting him to do. They were expecting him to be a Jesse Jackson, who I will save my comments on him because I met him personally, and you shouldn't meet your heroes.
Your heroes,
but
yeah.
he did not do what Jesse Jackson planned to do, and this is what really made me like him so much, and what a lot of people were pissed off. They really expected him to play that black card so they can get him out on the first term, but he didn't. What he did was play the game the way it was supposed to be played, slid things in there when he could, and not try to fight every fight like they were expecting him to. The reason why Barack Obama is one of the most famous and, for some people, the most hated president is because he refused to be put in this box. He became not just the black president for the United States of America, he became the black rock star of the world. When you leave the United States and go to some of these other countries, they look at him like a god because he played the game against the people that put this game together and won. Mitch McConnell said it out of his mouth. This guy is supposed to be a one-term president. He should never make it past that.
Well, that's the same narrative that they have for 45 right now.
What I didn't like.
And outside of the U.S., I've got co-workers who've come back from like Vietnam, they've come back from Spain and places like that. He's a rock star in those areas. He's hated here. So, I totally agree with you as far as being in there, being in a position to do what you may want to do, but they're waiting for you to slip up. That's what they intended to happen. But I'll probably say the only thing that I didn't like about his term, and like my brother said earlier, is out of the laws that he did pass, and I only put it in that box because I've heard some of the people who are part of that community try to equate their struggle to the civil rights struggle, and that's just mad disrespectful to me.
There you go.
We're not going to know what your orientation is until you tell us.
I'm going to agree with you 100% on that. Even though I support LGBTQ rights, when it comes to race and LGBTQ community, not only is it a separate entity from the struggle we have as a black people, but inside the LGBTQ community, there's a breakdown between what is okay gay and what is we don't want to talk about y'all black gay. And that could be another topic we could talk on at the next time, but it goes deep. So when we talk about the LGBTQ plus community, they're not all together. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of racism up in there. So if you want to talk about that Wizzo the next time, bring me on, man. I can talk about it. Hey, and the best thing about comedy, it works when there's truth in it.
Yep.
Bell wasn't lying.
That's why I do shows like these, man. I gotta make sure the swords are sharp.
Already. Okay, y'all check it out just for a second. Let me run this little commercial right quick. Gonna thank everybody for watching Wizzo Talk. Remember that it's absolutely free, 100% free to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your support wholeheartedly and appreciate the comments. So make sure y'all tap in for these guys. That's my commercial right there on that. And let me come back with this question. So, what do y'all think about these sneakers that Trump got out?
He ugly.
These 400.
He's just doing it
$400
in
ugly.
He's reaching. He's reaching to see just how far people will go. He's been doing that since his TV show.
Yeah.
He's so oh man, he's so selfish that he likes people. This is our president. He likes people that's willing to steal, kill, die, and lie for him. Them the people in this cabinet. That's why everybody around him goes down constantly all the time. And we're like, but yeah, we love him. He loves us. No, he don't. He loves himself.
Exactly. And I love that he got these corny shoes off, because just like the red hats used to be identifiers for the 100% lovers of Agent Orange, the shoes gonna be the next thing, man. They're just identifiers, and they're gonna gladly give their money, because what did LBJ say?
If I could make poor white people feel better than the worst black,
That
the best
right there.
black man, he'll empty out his pockets. He'll give me his
That
money.
right
Give
there.
poor white people somebody to
Boom.
look down on, and they'll empty their pockets.
Boom.
Voila.
So I'm
Same
assuming
as
that nobody's on the panel gonna buy a pair of shoes.
Hey,
Same-
well, I ain't gonna lie.
I
I
might.
could have bought a pair
I
of three
might.
still value.
Let me explain.
I will.
They ain't no Adidas. I'm not wearing.
I will. I'll buy some and put them in a case and cash out 50 years from now.
Airport.
That's fair. That's fair. They're gonna be worth some money.
They are.
Anybody here a fan of dad jokes? Like the really corny bad jokes?
Absolutely.
That's my view on these sneakers. I like them because they're bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at them, I go, "This motherfucker,
They are hidden.
this is hilarious." Yeah, like
With
you know
the
what I'm saying?
G
Like,
on them.
this is genius. It's sometimes there's. I always say sometimes the genius in joke writing, it's the artistry and simplicity. Sometimes the best things are just so simple. And he's not overthinking it. He's not overcomplicating how fucking stupid people are. All he got to do is just give them what they want. That's it. You can't.
And think about it. This
Don't hate
shoes
the player, man.
Y'all get ready to see a lot of fights. Because as soon as somebody black see somebody roll up with them big gold shoes on, they gonna think, "Oh, here we go."
I might be the first one. I might be the first one. So I
Well, they're not doing it with the caps.
Hey,
They're not doing it with the caps. So why are they gonna do it with the shirt?
Hey, let me do
fair
a PSA out there for some entrepreneurs that's against Agent Orange. Just think about this. These shoes are hot, right?
Sure.
You know that you can get online and contact a supplier in China to have them make those shoes for you for probably $8 to $10. Create you a website where your face doesn't show up and talk about how much you love America and sell them for $300 and let them wear your shoes, man.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah,
Well,
I might be looking up some Chinese manufacturers after this damn after this interview.
Right.
That's what I might be doing.
I thought about selling tiki torches and Confederate flags. They went crazy.
Hey,
Yeah.
you would be surprised at how many brothers are actually doing that right now.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, man.
Yeah. Exactly. But you know, and we talk about Trump, when we talk about
Go ahead.
When Trump talk about make America great again, just to go back to that slogan or whatever, you know, and to me, that's saying, well, hey, why not bring everything here, quit shipping shit overseas, and let's build everything strong here in America? But that's not happening, because then you look at all of the hotels that he has. I'm sure it's stuff made all over the world, and none of it's made here in America. You have, I think it was Steve Mnuchin when he was saying, when they gave out that $1,200, that was too much money. But Trump did, I believe, said he wanted to give out a little bit more than that time. But by the time they finally passed that $1,200 around during that COVID time, shit, people was already out of this and out of that. So I'm talking about, he's saying about making America great, making us stronger here. But yet all other companies, even he have banks and all that shit all around the world. You know, and so people are talking about the migrants that's coming in and taking the jobs and taking this job and taking that job. But hell, they're working in this hotel too. So I'm just saying. So
can I add to that? I asked.
Go ahead.
that live in Salado, Texas. It's a really rich town, a lot of farmers, country boys, and they love Trump out there. I asked my partner that I work with, why was he? What did he mean by "Make America Great Again"? When was what? Give me a timestamp. This mother told me colonial times. I told this mother, have you lost your dent? Did you just tell me that? Did you really just say colonial time? Is when America was great. Have you
Yeah,
lost your mind?
you had to say something.
Because they don't know. They don't know. They don't even know their own damn history. It just sounds good.
No.
Hey guys, check this out. Okay. Now normally I usually run a podcast for probably about an hour and a half, something like that. So we're a little over that because we have a large panel. So what I like to do is get ready to close it on out, but I like to just go around and get everyone to just kind of give out their little closing arguments or whatever, or closing thoughts or whatever like that. And so, and then after that, I'll just say one last little thing, and then we'll end this because it's obviously going to be a part two because the subject and we going so strong that we can just keep on going and keep on going. And so, but at some point we need to end. So what I'm doing is just go around the room, get everybody to go on, touch base on whatever they want to, and it won't really. We're not going to comment on that. We're going to let you say whatever, and then when it's your turn, then you can come in and give the closing whatever. So anybody like to jump out there first?
I'll
Crickets.
go. You go. Well, like I say,
Okay.
Mr. Paul know me by Chris. That's my name. I'm been appointed as the Black Heritage Committee chairman in Temple, Texas. That's how I met Paul. And I just say that's why, be in lieu of what we talking about, that's why I'm pushing for Cornel West, because he's not part of those people, and he actually has the poor people in mind. You know, it bothered me when they said, you know, we got a whole bunch of billions to send over there, but where you come up with them billions when we got people laying in the street? You know, you giving people that ain't even from here, that ain't spilled no blood over here, free stuff, and the people that's here can't get it. Where you keep getting this money from, except for when it comes to downtrodden in our country, including especially the people that laid their life on the line for you and wore them fatigue. You know, and I think we just need, if we can fix that one part, I think we'll be able to move mountains, should I say.
All right.
I don't know. Are we just going to know?
What we got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, my name is Melvin Derrico Jr., South Florida native, stand-up comic. If anybody here or viewing want to see any on Facebook, Melvin Derrico, just like I was spelled on here. Instagram, Mel_Derrico. I kind of view life just like how I view my relationship with my girl. Whenever we argue, I say we could talk for 2 minutes or 2 hours, but we have to have a solution, right? I don't give a damn how long we talk about the problem. What's the solution? And I kind of said this on stage. Part of it's a joke, but I firmly believe it could do a little something. I don't think black people need reparations. Man, I think we just need Walmart. If niggas got Walmart, man, I swear to God, this shit would be over. It'll be over. That's all we don't need no land. We don't need no mules. We just need Walmart. Do you know what niggas would do with Walmart? I mean, we're open late. Don't get me wrong. But man, bro, we'll make some noise. But no, seriously, it starts with us, man. Making politics culture, I think, is the first forefront, the first step. Making sure that it is the social norm for our community to care about local and also countrywide information and knowledge, and where we stand and who can we hold accountable and who really deserves our vote. I'm starting to see a revolt in my community with people who were just automatically Democrat starting to convert to the other side because they're going, why do they just come in our church every 4 years and clap and, you know, throw something in the pool, and now like we just gonna vote for them? I'm starting to see, you know, they're considering something different. So long as it starts with us, man, I think we'll definitely have a solution.
Gotcha. We're gonna come at you, Coach Lee. I believe you missed the opening, but make sure you give out any other podcast you affiliated with, any shout out you want to give out to. So we kind of discovered that, talked about that in the very beginning. So you wasn't here for that. So make sure you drop whatever you want to drop. But so drop whatever else you got.
All right, you call me out like that. I got it. Hey, Coach Lee Bayless online, family known as Clarence Haddock. STWF TV, we're on YouTube, Facebook, anything social media. Come check us out. We go from sports to politics to pop culture, whatever the case may be. Got something for you. For me, I want to piggyback off what my man just said as far as like stop just voting based on what we've always been taught to do. We got to make them earn our votes. And I think, is it Orville or Orvie? He had said earlier, I think it was him who said it was like the preachers, the pimps, the politicians, and the prostitutes. We got to stop being the tricks of these people, man. We got to make sure that we make them earn our votes. If they don't, if they promise something to us and they don't deliver on it, hold them accountable at the polls to let them know we mean business. Because anybody else other than us, if they don't deliver on their promises, they hold them accountable and they are accounted for. We need to be accounted for. And we can only do that by making politics normal, stop being lazy voters, and getting out there and doing our part that our forefathers and sisters did for us and making sure that we're local elections, getting in the juries, things of that nature, PTA, all that stuff.
Gotcha. All right. Mr. Mark, what you got for us, sir?
Just following on the lines of what everybody's talking about with politics, I would like to see us plant seeds for developing our own agenda. Yeah, we vote. We've been voting a long time, but I just think we just automatically vote Democrat. They throw a couple of crumbs. We accept that. Well, let's take that whole leveraging concept, twist it on its back. Okay, we have an agenda. What can you do for us, Mr. D? What can you do for us, Mr. R? And if you cannot meet our interests, we're not going to automatically pull the level for you, whether you the D or the R.
All right.
That's where I would like to
Mr.
see
Baker.
us. Yes.
Well, I first want to thank you for bringing me on with this team of great American people, man. It's really made my heart feel good. And what I have to leave y'all with is this. There's a reason why America's great, and it's because of people that look like us. And I would like everybody to, not just for Black History Month, look into how we contribute to this great American place that we call home, but look at the other people that don't look like us that have had our back and have our back now. If we want to try to move forward, we can't do it in a silo. We got to do it as a team, as a firefight. So everybody that's on board, whether they're Black, whether they're white, whether they're gay, if they're for the same agenda we're for, don't push them out. Bring them in and let's move forward, because the only way those elite people at the top is going to listen to us is if we come as a team. So stay great, stay awesome, Americans. I am definitely a patriot. Love you all.
Guys, outstanding. Guys, I will be loading this up also on Spotify, Wizzo Talk 8972. You'll be able to find it on there. I'll just ask everyone to please share and subscribe and get it on out there. We'll definitely wind up getting together a part 2. As I stated earlier, I never did ask anyone what a party they was affiliated with, because it didn't matter. We just gonna get on here and chop it up. And I did invite some diehard Trumpers. They did tell me no, and they didn't want to come on. So, but it was all good. I invited some women, so they told me no, so they didn't come on. But I should say this is a day of information, and information is just right there at our fingertips. We keep our phone in our hand. We do the research. So we talked about, just because you're a Democrat and they throw crumbs out there, you don't wind up having to vote for them. Do your research to make sure they finding out what you stand for and voting on, and so you know where your vote, make your vote count like that. And also talking about the local elections, get involved in that to on your local level, and getting out there and go to them kids PTA and do jury duty like you was talking about, coach, and get out there and do that, and you guys have put out a lot of information, and I'm not really that knowledgeable on a lot of politics. I had some notes and some questions. You guys took that out there, you ran with it. So you guys have brought a lot of information to me that I did not know. So I appreciate you guys for that. And like I said, we can keep going because it's fire conversation, but we got to go and get in that. And that's my thought for that. I appreciate you guys for coming on, and we look forward to doing another part 2 of From Sugar to Shit, talking about them politics. That almost had a little rhyme, didn't it? Hey, Coach. Coach, I didn't mean to call you out like that, Coach.
It's all good, man.
Hey, guys, before I go, I gotta tell y'all this right here too. I went to Dallas and I met Coach Lee and Coach, what's his name? Parker.
Ivan. Come on.
Yeah, and the guys up there went up into Dallas and did a session up there, and they showed me nothing but love, and I just really appreciate it, wholeheartedly and to the fullest. Thank you very much. Melvin reached out to me. We're gonna come on and have another session, just him and I, or get him on off in there. Rice, finally got to meet him. He's always been coming and following me all the way through it. Mark, my classmate, reached out to him. Mark, appreciate you coming. And Harvey, like I say, we worked together in Iraq, and we go way back. And I remember you talking about doing the hip hop soda shop. So, guys, just much love to you guys. I appreciate y'all, and we will be doing another part one day, and hopefully can have everybody on.
And I'm still on that hip hop soda shop.
Wait a minute. What was this talking about? What the fuck about the man cave? All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all.
All right, man. Y'all
I appreciate it, man. Much love to y'all.
Right.